So critical. I was finishing something, man. Jesus. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Things happen, man. What's up, Pinky? Oh, what it do, peoples? Happy Monday. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Let's put that right there. We've got video gaming news, as we do, for April 22nd, and then we're gonna dive into another day of Dragon's Dogma, man. Get some more fantastic gameplay in of a banger game. Get some amazing looks at that awesome corset that Pinky's Pawn's been wearing. I mean, there's not much that tops fashion like that, you know. Just picked up a new 4 terabyte HDD. Word up. Word. What, just for like, what are you going to use it for? You mind me asking what price point you got it at? Probably have to convert it to US for me if you can. I haven't even looked at. Wait, what? Last week it was 2 terabyte solid state. What are you talking about, bro? Solid state drive for games, HDD for games, just depending on what kind of games or whatever. Interesting. Yeah, I don't really care to be putting games on HDD at all anymore. You know. Oh, that's what. That's what I figured you were probably using it for, videos. Yeah. So, that's what I've still told people. Like, in a lot of situations, HDDs are still viable. You know, if you're using it for mass storage solutions of things like video editing, storing big chunks of like media or whatever, HDDs can still be very good. I always used to use Western Digital Blacks because they had really good warranties on them. They had really good warranties, and mine always lasted a long time too. So and they had higher RPMs. So I used to always use Western Digital Blacks. There were other good ones too, but you know, those were the ones that I had tried and tested a lot, and they worked really well for me, and I liked the warranties on them. So I always went with those. Oh, for real? Yeah. I always liked the Western Digital Blacks, and they, I think they're still a really viable solution. I think that solid state drives are fantastic. I've been using solid states, Jesus, since they kind of became onto the consumer market. Back in the early 2010s. A little over a decade ago now. I remember putting my first one into a PC build just for the operating system, and I was just blown away, dude, by how fast Windows was. I was like, God dang, dude. It was incredible, And so for me anymore, I just, there's no way I could go back to using it for like video games or for operating system or anything like that. But I think for a lot of things like video editing, you need mass storage because it's still way cheaper. Solid state drives have still, they've come down in a lot of ways on the lower storage solution for price point. If you're talking about like usually a terabyte or less, they're pretty comparable, right? But if you start talking about more than that, then the price difference, there starts to still be a gap. At least the last time I looked. So if you're talking about like gigs and gigs of storage space, it's usually a better solution to go with something like an HDD, in my opinion. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I want to actually do the same thing. What I want to do is I want to build a flipping like a media server, basically. like network attached storage, and I want to build like basically something. I don't know if I want to use Plex or something like that, but I want to do something to that nature and just put like all of my media on it. You know what I mean? As well as have space on it to use for doing my video editing and stuff like that, because that would be phenomenal. But I want to set up like a media server as well, because dude, we have so much stuff just as like myself and my family, you know what I mean? Whether it be like just home videos, be even movies, dude, just movies that we no longer access at all. You know what I mean? Like DVDs, Blu-rays and stuff. I just want to burn them all, man, and put them on a media server or whatever, and have it all accessible through like some kind of media server software or whatever, like Plex, you know. But that's what I want to do too. I want to get a NAS set up too, man. I don't think I've even seen it yet, Britannic. Yeah, I don't think I saw it. Sorry, I'll try to take a look at it soon, though. Yeah, I was kind of busy yesterday. But I'm sure I will. Yeah, I'm sure I will. People call it a Bel Air. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Oh, you got some new cosplay outfits. Sick. Let's go, man. Yeah, nice. Awesome. Well, happy flipping Monday, everybody. I hope your weekend was awesome. It's good to see you guys. And on that note, let's go ahead and do what we do, man. Let's dive into video gaming news for today, April 22nd. Let's go. I think she was a really good cast for that show. Ella Purnell. Yeah. She was a really good cast for that. Sony's in early talks to release Helldivers 2 on Xbox. Oh, interesting. You know, I've said this a lot over the past, like, few years about how it seems like PlayStation has followed Xbox quite often on these progressive moves in the console wars and the console industry, in gaming in general, really, that Xbox has had. And here we are again. Sony and PlayStation following Xbox once again, you know? It's funny that happens. It's not like PlayStation doesn't do their own thing. Xbox has had to be more inventive and more creative in the ways that they can compete in the console market, right? So they've done things that are more progressive that I don't think PlayStation and Nintendo would have ever thought to have really done, or not at least as fast, nearly as fast, had they not been trying to emulate what Xbox has done in a lot of forms and fashions, right? So I think that's why it stands out more to me whenever I see Xbox or PlayStation constantly doing this kind of thing, Sony constantly doing this kind of thing, and like kind of stepping in the same footsteps of what Xbox is making a path through the industry of doing. Like, I mean, do you guys remember how much criticism Xbox was getting for releasing their I thought it was a smart play, honestly, for Xbox and where they're at in the console wars and their position in that market, and with their recent, like, look, we're going to start testing the waters of releasing our proprietary games on rival studios platforms. And we knew it was, we saw it was going to be like Pentiment and Hi-Fi Rush and Grounded and those types of games. have started to hit the rivals platforms now. And not that far after that, we saw where PlayStation was going, hey, you know, well, maybe we should look at putting something like Helldivers 2 on another platform and see how that does. Look, I mean, it's really undeniable, right? It's undeniable. And the thing that I think was bad was you got a lot of those fans. Let me say this first. You got a lot of those fans of their systems. You know, you PlayStation fans, or, you know, that were like, ooh, we don't want your Xbox crap, or you got Xbox fans that were like, no, don't give them our stuff, you know. But look, the way it goes is this kind of thing is better for us as a whole as gamers. The more the whole first party bullcrap has been terrible for us for a long time. It's been really bad. Getting us to, you know, bottlenecking us into buying specific hardware to play specific titles has felt bad for a long time. You should be able to play whatever title you want. I mean, perfect world, it'll never totally be this way, let's be honest. But perfect world, you should be able to play whatever piece of software you want on whatever piece of hardware that you prefer, right? As a gamer. It doesn't work that way. Proprietary software has made it much more difficult. Obviously, we're still going to have first-party software, right? Because it's not like Xbox is going to be dropping their first-party games from their first-party studios on rival platforms day one. That absolutely will not happen, nor will that happen for any of the other console players that come into that same, you know, like PlayStation with Helldivers, something similar to that. It just won't happen, right? But it's better for us, man. It really is, all the way around. Whether people want to admit that or not, it's better for us as gamers as a whole. It is. And, you know, people wanted to kind of raise a stink about the fact that their platform, they didn't want their platform engaging in this kind of, you know, don't let our rivals have our stuff or whatever. But dude, people have been getting railroaded by this mechanic for a long time. It's just been happening for so long that people forget what's really going on here. And so I think that, you know, we have heard rumors about Sony entertaining the idea of Helldivers 2 releasing on other platforms for a while. The thing about it is, it really is undeniably a more lucrative thing to have your software on as many platforms as possible, right? Again, obviously, these companies are going to continue to release their first-party games on their own platform first and foremost for some kind of time frame before it releases on any kind of competitor's platform, because they still want people coming in and playing those games on their hardware or their services, for that matter, whether it be, you know, PlayStation on, you know, their PlayStation hardware, or PlayStation on their subscription service, or Xbox with their hardware or Xbox with their services, whatever. It'll always be like that in the first place. But the fact that that door is opening to where these first party titles are being more likely to hit other rival platforms makes it better for people to go, you know what? I don't necessarily need to buy an Xbox anymore. I can just have one piece of hardware, and eventually it'll probably come to me, right? It might not be right away, but eventually, or vice versa, right? That is the better thing for us as gamers all the way around. And these developers are finally at the point where they're admitting the fact that it's a more lucrative thing for them too. Everybody's known it for a long time. They've just been hard-headed about it because the war, you know, the whole console war. They didn't want to be like, you know, Xbox is the one that was finally like relinquishing, like, yo, we'll put our stuff on other platforms. That benefits us. You know, they were smart about it, and Sony's following suit. It's wild. I did get a few of my, I'm really close on most of my VODs that I needed to get put up on. I got about half. I got about 4 more that need to get made public. They're on YouTube now. I just got to get some details finished on them. I've got 3 up right now. And I've got 4 more that I've got to get finished after the stream today, but they'll be up there today. I know I said that the past couple of days, but it's gotten a little bit, my afternoons have been a little bit more hectic than I thought they were going to be, so I apologize. I updated our schedule a little bit last night too, so we'll take a look at that today. So everybody has an idea of what's about to happen, what's coming up, things like that. Obviously, we got Dragon's Dogma 2. I don't know how much time I'm going to put in this game. I think I've still got a chunk of change to put into this game. And then as soon as I get back from my next trip that I have to take, as soon as I get back, it should be Ghost of Tsushima time. And it's not too long after that is going to be summer showcases. So we'll have a lot to talk about for the schedule. A former Homeworld dev has made a free browser game that plays like an ultra-violent Office Space sequel? What? Yo, we gotta take a look at that. How do you cope with a video game backlog? Bro, how many times have we talked about this? It feels like a lot. Feels like we've talked about this a lot. I think everybody has a different way of dealing with a backlog. You know? It's usually a rough deal. It's a rough thing. I've got many games in my own backlog that just keep getting pushed back further and further for games that I'm more interested in playing. It's always a kind of like a consistently shifting, tiered, like, how interested am I in playing games as opposed to other games that are coming out and other games that I have, you know. There's like a consistent list that shifts, and then new games come out and they kind of stagger that list, and it's wild, man. It's tough to deal with. Tie Break, the official game of the ATP and WTA, is officially coming soon. Tennis game, go! Debt-strapped European games group Embracer plans a 3-way split? What? Dude, do you guys remember, like 2 years ago, when Embracer was just buying everything? They bought everything. And now they are folding. They literally bought everything they could get their hands on, man. And like a year and a half later, they just started collapsing, totally capsizing, crushing everything underneath them, firing everybody, closing the subsidiaries that they had purchased. It is terrible, man. God dang. I knew there were going to be some people saying this kind of stuff, and look, everybody's going to have their own. It's a very subjective thing, the way we address entertainment, and subjectively, you know, people are going to have a different take on what to think about something like the Fallout TV show. There's always going to be, you know, something that is highly regarded as a very, very good piece of entertainment. You're always going to have those people. Like, I'm one of those people with Alan Wake 2. I did not like Alan Wake 2. I thought it was terrible, actually. Thought it was really bad. And there were so many other people that really enjoyed Alan Wake 2. I am not one of them. I thought it was fairly terrible. And I'm not just talking about like some performance issues or anything. I mean, content-wise, I was not impressed. Not impressed at all, really. And seems like everybody else just absolutely loved it. Now, I can't for the life of me understand why. So it happens. It's not like just because everybody else loves something means that you're going to love it as well. We talk about that quite often. Usually, especially in a big data set of feedback and reviews, you're going to have a pretty good idea of what to expect, which is why reviews have become such a great thing for us to rely on, right? Especially when it comes to reviews specifically from the public. Reviews from critics they're hard to rely on quite often. Sometimes they're on par, sometimes they're not. That's why I like to look on Steam a lot. Steam, you get reviews from a lot of other game players. And usually that baseline you get, the more data you get, the baseline is usually somewhere close to what you can expect to experience out of that piece of entertainment. But it's not always going to be the case. Just like something like Valheim. We've had people talk about how they didn't enjoy Valheim. You got to respect it, you know. I don't necessarily understand it, but it just wasn't their cup of tea. Loved Valheim. Valheim was phenomenal. Loved it so much. But, you know, you can't expect everybody to love it. And then you're always going to have those people that just don't want to like something just because everybody else does, right? And there are always those kinds of people in the world, which is a little bit weird. I don't necessarily understand that. They want to be different. I'm different. You know? But you can't do much about that. It just is what it is. But I thought the Fallout TV show was very good. I didn't expect everybody to you know, jump on board of the, you know, it was a really, really good show. And yeah, I expected to see some people coming out with some, you know, alternative takes on it being something different than what most people have come to think of what the show is. Just like this. Did we watch the same Fallout TV show? It was a good video game adaptation, but only an okay TV show. I don't know. I thought it captured the essence of Fallout very, very well. I thought it was a very well done show. You know, is it the absolute best thing I've ever seen? No. But I would definitely watch it again. You know? Yeah, I'd definitely watch that again. I thought it was fantastic. You know? Thought it was really good. Oh my God. Why? Sony's latest patent imagines a future where your PlayStation plays your games for you. What's the point in that? Let's take a look at this. Soup will probably love it. It's for all those games that he goes, that's too hard. That game's too hard. PlayStation, play my game for me. Where's Soup at, dude? Save up to 75% on Nintendo indie games in a limited time sale. We'll take a look at that. 1 second, guys. Sorry. Soup's obviously not available, or he would have had a comeback right there, no doubt about it. Blueprints is already the very best shape-shifting video game. House? What? Let's see what this is. Yeah, this is wild. Let's go with game developer here instead of Financial Times. How about it for this Embracer split? Yeah. Bro. This is they're like, yo, Sony's like, yo, you don't want to grind in your game? You don't want to take the time to grind on your own? We'll do it for you. Bro, what? I'm sorry, dog. I'm a little bit turned off by this. If you're not willing to dedicate the time to a game, you shouldn't be able to benefit from, reaping the rewards. If it's a game that involves a grind, if you're not willing to dedicate the time to it, I don't feel like you should be able to reap the rewards from it. This is gross, in my opinion. They're catering to the instant gratification of the, this. Oh my God, bro. It's really upsetting. I don't like that, dude. Oh, Gaming Bible Pass. PS5 exclusive Stellar Blade will be uncensored worldwide at launch. Nice. Super love that. Whoa! It's happening. 7 Days to Die is ending early access after 10 years. Yo, we've actually memed on this game a lot for being, because I talk a lot about how I'm not a fan of studios being early access or having their titles in early access for extended periods of time. I really don't think a game should be early access anything longer than like 3 years. I think at that point, if you're at a point where you can put a game in early access, that means that you're ready for feedback. It's in a very playable state, and you should be at a point where you're really putting the finishing touches on something. So 3 years of early access really seems like a substantial amount of time to be able to finish something up and get it into a full-fledged, full-released product. And for me, that's the way I feel about things. It feels weird to see games like 7 Days to Die sit in early access for 10 years, or Star Citizen, same thing. Game's been in early, it's still releasing alpha content for 10 years. Come on, man. When they told everybody the game would be released in 2014, give me a break. It feels really gross. It feels weird that that's how this goes, and it doesn't feel real good, honestly. So this is wild. We've used them as an example quite often, and here it is. They're finally leaving early access. I think early access is a beautiful thing. I think it's a great thing for developers. But I think it's taken advantage of is basically what it comes down to. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Where's Soup at? Live update says Rockstar announcement is imminent. What is this, dude? We'll take a look at it. See what we got there. If it's actually worth diving into, I don't know. Check this out. The Fallout TV show popularity has prompted Nexus mods to issue traffic warnings. So many people are back to playing the Fallout games that Nexus mods is having to issue warnings about how much traffic they're getting on their site just because people are like modding all their Fallout games. That's awesome, dude. It's been very good for Bethesda. I don't like Gaming Bible with clickbaity. Yeah, I mean, thanks Captain Obvious. If anybody thought that there was going to be a Fallout game coming before Elder Scrolls 6 released, you're out of your minds. You already got your next Fallout game. It's called Starfield. Okay? It's just basically Fallout in space. And, you know, that was what was supposed to be tiding people over until Elder Scrolls came out, and then you get probably your next Fallout game. It is what, I mean, that is what it is. I know that Starfield wasn't meant to be a Fallout game, but it from what I gather, really kind of, in large part, feels like it's basically kind of Fallout in space, you know? And so you're just going to have to deal. It is what it is. Yeah, we have this up, right? I pulled this. No. That's patent stuff. No. Did I not? Oh, we just talked about it, didn't we? We talked about it already. Yeah. Yeah, very, very early talks. I think it'll happen. I do think that Helldivers 2 is probably going to come to other platforms. I mean, competitors' platforms. Not just PC. It's obviously already on PC, right? We're talking about here. New Xbox Game Pass game for April 23rd is getting great reviews. Let's see what we have. That's wild. Fallout 4 is just blowing up again. It's crazy. God dang, dude. Another leader in Australia this time. saying that video games are partly to blame for violence. Get wrecked, dude. Go look at the research, dog. Talking out of your ass face. Stellar Blade uncensored in all regions. I just need to. Did I pull this up? I don't think I pulled it up. Let's pull that up. I didn't say it wasn't due to video games. I said it wasn't due to the violence. All right. Let's be very clear. What's up, dude? Become the vengeful teleporting mutant rabbit Intelibit. Okay. It's just, it's obviously, you know, we've talked about it a lot, right? So one of the more recent things that we talked about and seen about the game is there's like a bodysuit that almost makes Eve look nude in it and stuff. And I think that the easier thing for them to do is just go, let's go not rated. You know what I mean? I don't know exactly what all is going to be in it. There's probably, I mean, quite possibly going to be nudity in it. You know, I mean, the game's totally just based off of, you know, the premise of sexuality and everything. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's I don't know, quite possibly. But there's definitely like a an outfit in it that makes Eve look, it's like one of those nude bodysuits or whatever, and makes her look nude. That might be one of the big reasons this is happening. I don't know. We'll take a look at it. We'll read it and see. Bendy 3 enters pre-production stage. I haven't played those games, but people like those, man. Pokemon Go's getting review bombed. What? Let's see what's going on there. Yeah, alright, let's stick with this. Yo, let me pull something else up here. Before we get started and I'm thinking about it. How's your day going, buddy? This game just released on April 18th. I had it on my wish list, and good. Love to hear it, dude. The Skur Ritual game, right? Lots of work. Word. Well, hopefully the day will go by fast. Lots of work. So I'll turn off the music for watching this. But this is a round-based zombie survival first-person shooter game, right? And a lot of people were interested in this. Even myself, whenever I saw it initially, it was like, oh, this looks like it could be pretty decent. It's, you know, from Wells Interactive, and they are also the publisher. So you're talking about like a smaller studio doing this. We're not talking about like a big studio trying to do something, you know, that they've ground into the dirt. This is a company that understands there's a market for this type of game, but they're trying to do it in a way that I think potentially people have been asking for a while, instead of it just being like Sledgehammer doing Call of Duty Zombies again or whatever. You know what I mean? So if you haven't seen this, let me I'll show you the launch trailer and stuff real quick. Kind of not in the mood to work. Yo, sounds like you need a mental health day, dude. Mayhaps. They are something that people need occasionally, for sure. I know you've probably already been working for a while, though, so maybe half a day is a mental health day, you know? Or maybe just tomorrow. Just take tomorrow. Man, I feel beat. Gotta take a day. Game looks kind of rad, dude. It looks like it could be a fun time. Just to get in here with some friendos and like do some slaughtering. Looks like it could be dope, but I don't know. If you're interested, it is on sale right now for like $20. I just noticed it came out not too long ago and had received pretty good reviews. It's like an 80, I think. 81, yeah. So, I don't know. It might be a good alternative to some of these types of other games that have been kind of failing people for a while that try to do the same thing. People are seeming to enjoy it all right, so just figured I would show people real quick. Let's get back into the news, baby. New Xbox Game Pass game for April 23rd is getting great reviews, so it comes out tomorrow. Let's see what we're talking about here. Euden Chronicle 100 Heroes. Newest game from the Kickstarter-funded studio Rabbit and Bear Games has largely received generally favorable reviews from critics, according to Metacritic. At the time of the writing of this article, the PC version of the JRPG currently has a Metascore of 78 based on 18 critic reviews. A number of outlets have praised 100 Heroes for living up to the standards of the 90s JRPGs it's inspired by. Many reviews have cited a charming cast of characters, great HD 2D art, style, and an intuitive turn-based combat system as some of the various highlights of the upcoming Suikoden's spiritual successor. Euden Chronicles 100 Heroes. Positive reviews, yeah. Received criticism for some of its features like somewhat poor pacing, inventory management systems, adherence to retro gameplay structures. Despite the critiques, it seems like most of the early critic reviews are in agreement that Euden Chronicle 100 Heroes is worth a shot. For those who may still be on the fence, even after reading these largely positive reviews, they can try the game on Game Pass instead of spending $50 to see if it is for them. Cool. So there you go. If you're interested, coming to Game Pass tomorrow. Stellar Blade. Let's go ahead and get into this this stuff. This is going to be an entire slew of things for Soup here. I don't know where Soup is right now, but you know, I'll shoot these to him anyways. Maybe we wait on these. Maybe we wait until Soup's around. We can wait and see if Soup shows up, and then we'll go over that stuff. Let's look at this. Become the vengeful teleporting mutant rabbit in Telebit. Want to be a mutant rabbit that gets his hands on a teleporter with a mission to take revenge on humanity? Then you'll want Telebit. Let's watch this. I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Fat click. Well, that is some old school looking stuff, dude. It's like some old Metroid slash Mega Man. A little bit of some Sonic in there, you know. Mega Rabbit. It's called Telebit. Yeah. Interesting. Let's see here. Indie game developer Akina Games and publisher Hyperreal announced their latest game on the way as Telebit is coming to PC and all major consoles. Interesting. Okay. The game's story is pretty complicated as you play a mutant rabbit who also happens to get his hands on a teleportation device, which you will use to get your revenge on humanity for all the things they've done to you and more. This will involve some frantic platforming as you figure out where you need to be before you get there. We have the first official trailer. That's what we just watched. It tells everything about the game right here. The synopsis, if you will. If you're interested, I'll link it. Bendy 3 is entering pre-production stage. Since launching in 2017, Bendy and the Ink Machine has grown to a massive series with several spin-offs, crossovers, and an upcoming movie adaptation because of how many spin-offs and joke games that developer Joey Drew Studios has developed over the years. It can be tough to keep the mainline series straight. There have been 2 mainline games in the Bendy series so far. Thankfully, fans are going to get another injection of the ongoing Bendy story when Bendy 3 launches. Recently, Joey Drew Studios revealed the work has finally begun on Bendy 3, which will feature the return of the titular character. The reveal didn't give away much. After all, the game has only just entered pre-production at this stage. The official Twitter account simply tweeted, "Bendy will return in the 3rd game." Accompanying the mysterious text was an image of what is initial logo with Bendy stylized as Bendy with a 3. I like it already. You know what I mean? There's small text in the right-hand corner that reads official title to be announced, so don't be surprised to see that change when the game gets its first real trailer. Other than that, there's not much to go on. The image features what looks like Bendy's hand and an oversized bullet. There's also various wires that could be a game controller. That said, the controller could be just about anything with how little of it you can see at the top of the image. Clearly, the team is keeping most of Bendy 3 under wraps for now, but veteran fans might be able to spot a hint or two from this initial image, so stay tuned for further updates on the official subreddit. Sure, Reddit? Sure, Reddit. As mentioned, a Bendy and the Ink Machine film adaptation was announced late last year. The project is under development at Radar Pictures. Like Bendy 3, the team announced the adaptation with a mysterious tweet that gave nothing away. Since then, we haven't learned much more, but hopefully the team will start to announce updates over the summer. Cool. There you go. Pokemon Go is getting review bombed. Some Pokemon Go players are currently upset with the developer Niantic and have started review bombing the game as a result. Oh, poor Pikachu. The widely played augmented reality game Pokemon Go is currently being review bombed by people that are upset about the changes made to the game's avatar system. Pokemon Go avatars are the visual representation of players in the game. Players are able to create their own avatar, then further customize them with cosmetics that are either earned in-game or purchased from the shop using in-game currency. Pokemon Go avatars have remained largely unchanged since the game's launch in 2016. However, avatar changes are part of a big push from Niantic to encourage people to rediscover Pokemon Go. The idea behind the changes was to give players more options when it comes to customizing their avatar in the game, allowing for more body types, skin tones, and hair colors than ever before. But the changes have not gone over well, to say the least. While Niantic may have had good intentions with the Pokemon Go avatar update, an unfortunate side effect is that many players are not happy with how their characters look in the game now. It seems many Pokemon Go players preferred how their avatars looked pre-update, and they have taken to social media, app stores, and review aggregate sites to let their grievances be heard. New 1-star reviews are popping up on the app stores for Pokemon Go on both Android and iOS devices, while 0 out of 10 scores have hit the game's Metacritic page. There have been calls on Reddit encouraging Pokemon Go players to continue flooding the game with 1-star reviews in an attempt to get Niantic to revert the changes made to the game's avatars. Isn't this wild? Something as simple as this has caused an absolute blowback. Oh god, I hate this song, dude. How wild, dude. 8 years after a game is released, they make a change just to the ways that avatars look in the game, and people start review bombing the game. That's wild, dude. Here it is. This is what I was worried about too. I did not think this day would come. Niantic has hired an inclusion consulting firm, which translates to angry in and femcells who are miserable and unhappy in their bodies, force everyone else to play as characters who are miserable and unhappy in their bodies. Can't choose between male or female anymore, meaning you can only play as this. Pokemon Go woke, go broke, go Poke woke, go Poke broke. Stop with this woke cult already. Went from having a girly character to having one that looks like a buff, burly man. This is a change that's coming out in waves with no warning. Literally no reason to play. All the coins spent on cosmetics are now wasted. Would recommend chargebacks ASAP. If possible, would rate 0 out of 5 stars. Far from the first time Niantic has made a controversial Pokemon Go change, and if history is any indication, it's unlikely that the developer will walk back the changes. Oh my god. As some may recall, Niantic added restrictions to remote raid passes in Pokemon Go despite vocal complaints from the community, and it didn't budge. Now there may be improvements made to the new avatar system to address some of the feedback, but fans shouldn't hold their breath. The old school avatars are ever going to make a comeback. Pokemon Go Rediscover campaign has a few more stops, and it will be interesting to see how the community reacts to the other changes that are in the pipeline for the game. April 22nd will kick off the Rediscover Your World and Rediscover Kanto events, which will see more graphical changes to Pokemon Go, as well as the return of Kanto region Pokemon. Final update is coming May 7th, titled Rediscover Your Reality, though it's unclear exactly what that will entail just yet. Brother, all these flippin' gaming companies that are hiring these inclusion consulting firms are just getting wrecked, dude. It's so stupid. I don't know, man. It's really wild. A former Homeworld dev has made a free browser game that plays like an ultraviolet Office Space sequel. This is going to be wild, I think. You can play Rising Up in about 15 minutes, possibly during company time. All you workers. You know who I'm talking to. Rising Up is a free sub 15-minute browser game that's a bit like Streets of Rage, where you play a balding office worker and beat a giant scanner to death within the first 30 seconds. This, I believe, should be enough to tempt you into dunking it enthusiastically into your next break coffee. But if you need more convincing, let's do it. Created by E.H. Jorgensen, who credits include Homeworld Deserts of Crack. Rising Up is a relatively simple 3-button side-scroller that has you make your way up an office building, destroying everything in your path. First, irate coworkers wield swivel chairs, then security join the fray, then some sort of G-men get involved. You can punch, block, jump, and air kick. The brawling is simple but satisfying enough, and the way office equipment violently degrades when hit is better, but this isn't why I'm recommending the game. I was going to write that Rising Up had really good pixel art, but after thinking about it for a while, I realized this wasn't what I was trying to say. What the game actually made me feel was closer to, this is a really good piece of art delivered through the medium of pixels. Punching aside, I'd say Rising Up hits more like an experimental short film. The sense of escalating chaos as you progress, alongside the camera trickery and details, culminates in a wonderfully bizarre ending that at once makes me want a full release, but also need this exact tempo to be preserved in perpetuity. Let's watch this, dude. Nice. So loud. Nice. I bet that's wild. 2 weeks into the only proper office job I've ever held, a call center, I sat down at my desk one morning, started work, and was soon interrupted by various manager-type people asking me to empty my pockets and give them access to my locker. I didn't have a locker at the time, and I don't think I had anything in my pockets either. They chilled out and walked off after a bit, and I didn't really think much of it. Later, I went to the loo, realized a small white dot of toothpaste had dried and stuck to my inner left nostril, which I imagine they assumed was cocaine. It didn't feel vaguely violating and dystopian and a surrendering of bodily autonomy upon entering a designated space of space kind of way, but I mainly found it quite funny. I quit after a few months, but if I'd stayed there for years, I'd probably want to punch a scanner to death too. Find Rising Up on itch.io right here at this link. I'll link this article to you guys so you can go grab it if you want. This looks hilarious. There you go. We have a new tennis game coming our way. For those of you into the tennis world, let's take a look at this. Tiebreak, the official video game of the ATP and WTA, is officially coming soon. Already out in early access on Steam, the game will be released for the PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch consoles later this year. After more than a decade without any new tennis video games, fans will soon have not one, but two to choose from on the heels of this week's upcoming release of Top Spin 2K25. The fifth installment of the Top Spin series comes Tiebreak, which is being billed as the official game of the ATP and WTA tours. It was initially slated, for a 2023 release, but was obviously pushed back to this year. The WTA's post teased that the game will feature a roster of more than 100 professional players, which is the most ever for a tennis video game. The Top Spin title releasing in 4 days has 25 players. I want to start calling you Hot Garbanzo. You say it so much. Everybody, Hot Garbanzo's here in chat. Good morning, Hot Garbanzo. I've actually got a couple of articles up for you, dude. I saved them because you weren't here yet. I've got some articles for you. McChicken. What's up, dude? Step into a world where you can play full ATP and WTA seasons with the current stars and greatest tennis players of all time. I've actually got Stellar Blade and I've got GTA 6 for you, buddy. I didn't even cover them yet because I was waiting on you, and I saved them because you weren't here yet. Does that not show you how much I care? You know, I waited, dude. Let's take a look at these. We'll just take a look at these real quick for everybody. What are we talking about here? This one's called Tie Break. Let's look at Tie Break. Tennis! That's flipping it. No gameplay? Wowzers. Yeah. Looks like they don't want to show you gameplay. Mostly positive right now. It's been out on Steam. It's got 59 reviews. It's been out since January. It's coming to consoles is why they're talking about it. It's a 77% positive. So, yeah, I mean, you don't have a lot of options here as far as these tennis games go, but Top Spin is the other one, which is coming out on April 25th. Again, we've got like 3 days. I'll show you a quick video of this. What I'll tell you is that Top Spin is a game being produced by 2K. So I would just, knowing that 2K usually releases games with some nice bugs. Okay, but if you guys are interested here, I'll share the links to them for you. Cool. Get it popping again. This is actually disgusting. And I memed Soup with this when he wasn't here. This seems like something much more up Soup's alley, you know? Somebody that's like, oh, this game's too hard. I need the PlayStation to play it for me. This game's too hard. Play the game for me, PlayStation. And get up on your feet. You know? I just wanna see you dance. So, I actually I'm gonna read this one. I don't know, we'll take a look at both. But if you look at the title of this one, these are both in regards to this new patent. And we'll see if this one touches on it. But this says, latest Sony patent wants to take the grind out of games by playing them for you. And, dude, I am not about this. This is actually disgusting for me. I never want to see this in the industry that I love. I'm sorry. I'm very, very adamantly against this. I don't like it. I don't think this should ever be a thing. Letting the device play the game for you, what's the point? And if it's so you can avoid grinding in a game, you don't deserve that stuff if you're not putting in the time yourself. I'm sorry, that's the way I feel about it. If you're just gonna let a device grind for you, get wrecked. If you're not gonna work for it yourself, you know what I mean? What's the point? I know that, you know, grinds aren't always fun, but that's been a thing about, you know, grindy video games for a long time. The grind is about, you know, putting in the time, putting in the effort, and the satisfaction of coming away with the end result of something worth that grind, right? And if something's just doing it for you, that sucks, dude. And the people that think that's okay suck. I don't care. This is for those people that want instant gratification. All those kids that want instant gratification in their video games, that like to hack and cheat and don't want to work for anything, don't want to improve their skill level, and it's the same exact thing, dude. I'm not about it. This feels disgusting. Sony's latest patent imagines a future where your PlayStation plays your games for you. Who wants to play their own games anyways? Yeah, like that's what video games are about or something? Weird. A recently published patent from Sony has revealed that the company is considering introducing a method to let your games play themselves. Have you ever thought to yourself, wow, I sure do wish that my game would just play itself so I can get this annoying grinding out of the way and, I don't know, do my taxes or something else adults do in the meantime? No. First of all, maybe consider playing a different game, but if you're determined to stick with it, I have some potentially good news for you. As spotted by Exputer, Sony published one of its patents earlier this month, which apparently features a method and system for auto-playing portions of a video game. According to the patent's description, the autoplay mode uses data from the user's play model to automatically play the AGC for the user using a gameplay style that simulates a gameplay style of the user. It goes on to explain that when gameplay of the AGC in autoplay mode is complete, a resume notification is presented to the display screen of the user device used by the user during the gameplay. The resume notification provides the user with an option to discontinue use of the autoplay mode and resume gameplay in active play mode. I don't know about you, but I don't personally like the idea of spending $70 on a game only to have it be played for me in a quite a literal sense. But hey, maybe it would mean I'd finally get through Persona 5. A later description in the patent explains that the feature would utilize AI and training models based on a player's previous gaming sessions to create an AI player character that would play pretty much as you do for those grindy portions. Whether this feature gets introduced or not, it seems like it will have a broad use case. As the patent suggests, it could be used for games with repetitive tasks or simply when a player just isn't interested in playing a particular quest. A lot of these kinds of patents never actually end up being used, though, like this other patent from Sony that suggested you could turn a banana or anything else into a controller. Yeah, I mean, we see the patent submissions all the time. I'm not going to read this one, too, but I think that there will be differing uses for this. There could be some beneficial uses for this that I'm probably not thinking of because I'm just kind of blinded right now by the fact of what I think most people would use this for, which is basically to just not have to put in the time and effort to play a game the way that you're supposed to have to play a game. And for me, that's gross. I don't like it. And I'm sure there will be people that come up with some ideas and comments and things about where this could be a useful application. I have no doubt about that. But it seems to me to have many more applications to just let people kind of cheese their way through getting items without having to work for it. And for me, that's not what gaming's ever been about. So I don't know, feels kind of gross. Save up to 75% on Nintendo indie games in limited time sale. Big discounts on popular titles. Hollow Knight. Might as well just play this forever because we're never getting flipping Silksong, you know what I'm saying? Stardew Valley, Among Us, Untitled Goose Game. To celebrate the newly announced indie titles coming to the Switch console this summer, Nintendo is hosting an indie game sale in both its US and UK eShops until April 23rd. Dude, that's tomorrow with up to 75% off. Hollow Knight's 50% off. Stardew Valley's 33% off. Among Us 35% off. Untitled Goose Game 50% off. Ori and the Will of the Wisps, 60% off. Cuphead, 30% off. You can see some other deals in here and stuff, but if you're interested and you're in those regions or can access those eShops, then there you go. There's your link. Blue Princess is already the very best shape-shifting video game house. Currently trying to find a new flat in London, this is not as much fun, though it is a great opportunity to meet and bond with other would-be tenants over a shared grinding resentment of landlords who will literally stuff a bed in a toilet and call it a studio apartment. It's also left me powerfully invested in the premise of Blue Prince, a first-person puzzler which looks like a graphic novel, starts with your character inheriting a huge, weird, isolated mansion, Mount Holly, from an eccentric great-uncle. There's a catch, though. According to your great-uncle's will, you only get to keep the place if you can find its 46th room. The catch hanging off that catch is that, going by its flat plan, the mansion only has 45 rooms. The catch hanging off that catch is that the mansion changes shape between visits. Each time you open one of its many doors, you must choose from 3 cards to decide which room is on the other side. This sounds like something Pinky might like. To find the elusive 46th room, you must draft rooms in certain combinations to unfold the mystery of the place and wiggle your way to its heart. Let's take a look at this.
To the architect, every idea starts with a single line, springing forth from our ambition and ending at the edges.
For Pinky, it starts with
our
an
imagination.
A-frame blueprint that you can't ever get
To
rid of.
them, an empty blueprint.
You heard me, dude. You know what I'm
represents
talking
a
about.
world of possibilities. A world of dreams and doorways.
Interesting. Cool. Dogu Bomb has been making blueprints for almost a decade, working by himself for a couple of years before gathering a small team to flesh out his prototypes and overhaul the initial stock assert art direction. So I wanted to make a really atmospheric, narrative-heavy first-person adventure game initially, and then I started when I started in 2016. Inspired by celebrity indies such as Braid and Limbo, Ross experimented with coding his own house environment while also tinkering around with some ideas for tabletop games. His inspirations there include Agricola and Labyrinth. Interesting. I had a design of drafting rooms where you passed room cards from player to player, and you're each selecting one room to draft, he goes on. So I was like, okay, I wonder how that would combine with the first-person adventure thing. So I built a prototype in the first 3 months. It was really fun, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll commit to another 6 months and finish it. That was 8 years ago, so my timeline was a little off, and the ambitions grew and grew. I think the more I went on, the more I became obsessed with the idea of everyone's day in the house being different. Blueprints' unearthly house is laid out like a chessboard on your drafting menu, with 9 ranks pointing northwards from the lobby towards the other exit. Moving between these rooms costs steps, of which you have a limited quantity per in-game day. There are 3 other main resources: keys for unlocking doors and other objects within rooms, coins, which can be spent in various ways, and gems, which are needed to draft rarer varieties of rooms. These 4 reassuringly tangible commodities sit atop and feed into a Byzantine board game economy of room states and effects. Some rooms work like terrain hazards, stealing a coin when you walk through them, while still potentially being necessary to make progress. Others, such as bedrooms, refresh your character's wits and restore a few steps every time you enter. Better then to draft a bedroom in the middle of the house layout so that you pass through it frequently, or if you're focused on exploring and learning during the run in question, draft several bedrooms to keep your stamina topped up, instead of rooms that might be more relevant to the overarching puzzle. That's wild, dude. I'm not going to read the rest of this, but it gives a pretty nice detailed layout of what this game entails. I'll read the last paragraph here. I had absolutely no idea what Blueprints was before setting foot within it, and now I can't stop thinking about the game. There's no urgency to it. Time stands still, providing you do, and I've seen nothing so far in the way of elements that require quick reactions or dexterity, let alone any explicit threats. Still, it's an immensely creepy creation for all its calm. Whatever the order in which you lay out the rooms, you are always building a labyrinth with some kind of minotaur at its core. Coins, stars, gems, and steps aside, the most important resource at your disposal is, of course, information. Information and a generous pinch of luck. I think it's possible technically to beat the game in a single day, Ross says, but everything has to go right and you have to be incredibly bright. Interesting. Difference being this is being made by one person, not a slew of crunch culture people. You know what I mean? It is an indie game, but it's a very good looking indie game in my opinion. I really honestly hope that all those people being brought back to work at Rockstar are not being crunch cultured. It was kind of a maybe bad joke. This looks neat, dude. Blueprints. This looks really neat. If you want to see it on Steam, there's your link. And if you want to read the rest of this article, I'll link that as well. I don't know if Pinky's around to hear me or not, but I'm going to shoot this to him just in case. He probably can, but just in case. What do you mean? I just looked at Discord. I didn't see anything. Embracer splitting into 3 standalone companies. You need to tell me where to look, dude. Like what channel? Stuff like that. You know what I mean? I didn't see anything. Embracer splitting into 3 standalone companies to search for winning formulas. Rather than imposing conformity on thriving businesses, we should foster an environment that amplifies existing success. Dude, this is wild. I'll look in a second when I finish this. So, as I said previously, whenever I found this article, this company's been terrible. Embracer. If you remember about 2 to 3 years ago, they were just buying everything they could. Anything they could get their hands on, they were buying it up, you know? And it was weird to see this happening. It was like, it felt like they just had endless pockets, you know? Endless supplies of cash. And they were just buying anything and everything they could. It was really wild to watch. And it obviously came back and bit them in the ass because, as we've seen over the past year to year and a half, they have literally just been capsizing. They've been closing subsidiaries, selling anything off they can, firing all kinds of people. It's been disgusting to watch. You know, I'm sorry, but if anybody has been watching anything about Embracer, how could you ever trust anybody that's at the top of this company as an executive? Making these business decisions? How disgusting to watch what's happened here. And then amidst all of it, they come out and go, all we really care about is our shareholders. Quote, unquote. You know what I mean? It's like, not that we didn't already know that, but just to come out and quote that as amidst all this other stuff that's happening when they have performed all these really gross actions, it did not feel good. So Embracer is splitting now into 3 standalone companies to search for winning formulas. Recently, Saber finally got out from underneath Embracer. They are being purchased by some private investors. They're taking the Knights of the Old Republic remake rights with them, even though it'll still be published, I think, by Embracer. So there's an agreement there that Saber gets to finish the development of it, but apparently Embracer still retains some of the rights to the product as well. So that's happening, as well as they just sold Gearbox for $500 million to Take-Two Interactive, right? And you know, now we're seeing that even through the selling of these 2 huge subsidiaries of theirs, they're still feeling the need to do things like this. Rather than imposing conformity on thriving businesses, we should foster an environment that amplifies existing success. At a glance, the group will be split into 3 new businesses: Asmodee, Coffee Stain and Friends, and Middle-earth Enterprises and Friends. Coffee Stain and Friends is billed as a diverse gaming entity that will focus on indie and AA console and PC titles. Middle-earth Enterprises and Friends will become Embracer's AAA powerhouse and will seek to leverage key IPs. What do they think this whole and Friends thing is? Is this something they think is going to make them look better to people? Is that what this is? This is almost like you know, obviously everybody, anytime anybody that knows anything about the industry anymore sees Embracer, they're like, oh my God, Embracer, you know, it's just a disgusting word. So is this, they're going, hey, we're friends, you know, kind of like Facebook changing the meta. It's like they think that changing their name is going to make them appear to be something different in the eyes of people. Come on, man. What is this? Coffee Stain and Friends? Middle Earth Enterprises and Friends? What is this? This is ridiculous. Yeah, I'll look at Soup and Psych. I'll look at your stuff here after I finish this article. Swedish conglomerate Embracer Group is transforming into 3 standalone publicly licensed companies that will reflect its interest in unique market segments. The move will see Embracer reshuffle some elements of its video game business into a new company called Coffee Stain and Friends, which it claims will become the leading and most innovative developer of community-driven games for PC, console, and mobile. Yeah, right, bro. As a standalone company, Coffee Stain and Friends will be able to better showcase its high margin profile and strong cash flow profile, coupled with an enhanced ability to resume and allocate resources towards opportunities to maximize the long-term value creation. This was probably just created by ChatGPT. Reads a press release. Coffee Stain and Friends will operate under 2 distinct segments, premium and free-to-play. Those premium console and PC operations will include studios like Coffee Stain, Ghost Ship, Tarsier, Tuxedo Labs, as well as THQ Nordic and Amplifier Games invest. It will also comprise franchises such as Deep Rock Galactic, Goat Simulator, Satisfactory, Wreckfest, Teardown, Valheim, as well as more than 200 other IPs. Free-to-play operations will include Easy Brain, Deca, Crazy Labs, and Cryptic. Intellectual properties include Sudoku.com, Blockudoku, Jigsaw Puzzle, and many other IPs added Embracer. Key published free-to-play games based on licensed IPs include Star Trek Online and Dungeons & Dragons Neverwinter Online. Another new business called Middle Earth Enterprises and Friends will be split off to develop immersive world-class entertainment IPs, including the iconic Lord of the Rings, leveraging in-house AAA capabilities and formidable partnerships. Oh, man. Yeah. I don't believe this at all. It will also feature key video game studios. As a standalone company, Middle Earth Enterprises and Friends will operate as a more transparent entity, offering a better structure to maximize the potential of its highly strategic franchises, with focus on the Lord of the Rings and a number of other key IPs. Continued Embracer. Decision makers will be closer to the organization, leading to enhanced capital expenditure management, accountability, and well-balanced investments to optimize financial performance and profitable growth over the long term. Game studios including Crystal Dynamics, which is one of the places that they obtained through their purchase of their studios, North American studios, from Square Enix previously, I think. Dambuster Studios, Eidos Montreal, might be another one right there, and Flying Wild Hog Studios, Tripwire, Vertigo Games, Warhorse Studios, 4A Games, and others will be housed within Middle Earth Enterprises and Friends. They'll be joined by franchises including Dead Island, Killing Floor, Kingdom Come Deliverance, The Lord of the Rings, Metro, and Tomb Raider, among many others. Plyon, Free Mode, Dark Horse, and other businesses will be bundled into this entity. Embracer will also be listing Asmodee as a standalone entity, with the tabletop game company having secured 900 million euros in financing as part of the separation. The proceeds from that financing will be used to pay existing debt and reduce leveraging in the remaining Embracer group. Embracer CEO, that's Lars Wingfors, I think, claims new structure will unlock full potential of each team. Yeah, it's Lars Wingfors. Yeah. I bet they promise cake. Sounds fake. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Embracer Group CEO Lars Wingfors, who recently oversaw a colossal restructuring campaign that resulted in studio closures, significant divestments, project cancellations, mass layoffs, intends to form a new long-term ownership structure and will remain an active, committed, and supporting owner of all 3 entities. Shareholders representing over 50% of the capital and votes in Embracer Group have expressed support for the transformation plan, which Wingfirst claims will unleash the full potential of each team based on friendship. This move has been made. This is a quote. This move has been made with the intention to unleash the full potential of friendship of each team and provide them with their own leadership and strategic direction. This is the start of a new chapter, a chapter that I intend to remain a part of as an active, committed, and supportive shareholder of all three new entities with an evergreen horizon based on friendship. Added Wingfirst. This move towards three independent companies based on friendship reinforces Embracer's vision of backing entrepreneurs and creators with a long-term mindset based on friendship, allowing them to continue to deliver unforgettable experiences for gamers and fans across the globe based on friendship. Bro, I can't. Embracer provided a brief financial breakdown of each new entity in a press release and noted that each one will be able to fully utilize its own balance sheet, its own set of financial targets, and optimal financing structure and capital allocation strategy. Here's the current lowdown. Whatever, dude. Embracer is already priming its leadership teams for the split and explaining that Coffee Stain CEO Anton Westberg will oversee the process leading up to the separation of Coffee Stain and friends. Oh my god, dude. Embracer Group's current interim chief strategy officer, Phil Rogers, will oversee the separation of Middle-earth Enterprises and friends. Don't forget the friends, guys. Longstanding Asmodee operational and executive leader Thomas Kogler will, in the coming months, become CEO of the business, replacing current CEO Stefan Carvel. Or Stefan. Brother. Embracer is changing, but Group CEO Lars Wingfirst isn't going anywhere because he's the best of friends. In an open letter discussing the transformation, Wingfirst indicated that he fully intends to stick with Embracer for the long haul. At the IPO in 2016, I made a promise to the stakeholders that I would be around for at least 25 years, and I still have 17 years left to fulfill that as their best friend ever, he wrote. The chief executive said Embracer's journey so far hasn't always been a straight road to friendship, presumably referring to the 1,400 workers that were laid off in the space of 6 months, but we want them to know that we'll always be their friends, even though that we fired them, but added that he's very proud of what the Embracer team has achieved in uniting some of the most extraordinary companies and IPs in the games and entertainment industry under one roof of friendship. I flipping can't, dude. You guys want to read the rest of these quotes? Go ahead. But, I mean, what a crock of crap, dude. If anybody's believing this bull crap, dude, you've been living under a rock. You know, I mean, it's just insanely bad. Lars Wingfirst, give me a break. Embracer, terrible flipping company, you know. Let me pull that down just a little bit. Terrible company, dude. That probably worked. Yeah, that's fine. Jesus Christ. What a terrible organization. You know they have absolutely no remorse for what they've done. I don't know, you know, I'm sorry, dude, but you look at somebody like Lars Wingfirst, dude, I'll you know, like I said with somebody like Bobby Kotick, you watch what happened at like Blizzard and Activision for all those years under Bobby Kotick, all the harassment that was going on there, all the flipping mismanagement and stuff like that, you know, and Bobby Kotick was one of the few that couldn't be ousted. He stayed up there, and I said it, man. I was like, dude, if Microsoft really wants things to change for Activision Blizzard, if they're able to purchase, they got to get rid of him, you know?
Hey, shut your pie hole, buddy.
Nice, dude. Look at that streak right there, boy. Yeah, Pinky. Wait, where's the going streaking? So, Yeah, psych. Sorry, I know I'm talking about your buddy, dude. But I mean, this is the same thing. We've watched Embracer like 3 to 4 years ago. They just started buying. There we go. There we go. True's got it. True's got it. What's up, True? What's going on, friendo? I'll go back and read chat. I know this. We jiving, dude. We getting down right now. We're jamming out, boy. Getting that mustache rocking, you know. It matches my shirt, actually. That's nice, DJ. The thing is just ridiculous is we watched Lars Wingfors go through this entire process with him of being the face of what was happening. Is he the only one responsible? Absolutely not. But he's absolutely the face of what's gone on here, right? I mean, through this entire process of absolutely buying everything they could, and it was a terrible business decision that led to them closing 30-year-old studios like Volition, you know? It led to them laying off 1,400 to 1,500 employees, yeah? And amidst all that noise, all the terrible stuff we've seen Embracer do over the past year and a half, you know, they want to come out and talk about all we care about stakeholders. It's like, Jesus Christ, what a terrible corporation, you know? How funny is it they're splitting into 3 companies and they're calling two of the companies now and friends. Like, that's going to make people think differently about who these companies are. Get flipping wrecked, dude. It's still the same corporations run by the same people. That's what people have to understand. The same people are still at the head of what these companies are. Nothing is changing here. They're splitting the company up. It's 3 different companies with being run by the same people. There's nothing different. They still have the propensity to do the same disgustingly bad stuff that we saw Embracer do as one big giant corporation. Don't get, you know, the wool pull over your eyes on what's happening here. Don't let the and friends, you know, like I don't know what made them think that was gonna, you know, bait people into thinking that they're like good now or whatever. Come on, man. Lars Wingfors needs to go. All those other people in this corporation that were at the top of making these terrible business decisions and closing down these studios and firing all these people, you know, they need to go. It's bad. It's terrible. It's disgusting. And these 3 companies are still Embracer. They always will be until all the people that are at the top of these companies that have done this terrible stuff in the past are gone. Yo, look at this noise. Look at this noise. Yo, let me see. What's up, True? How you doing? I need to check Discord real quick. This should have put you at the top of Embracer Soup. Zowie. Psych be lurking. Flipping Pinky. Yo, Pinky, did you see what I sent you, dude? Yeah, 7 days to die. Early access over, dude. Crazy, right? Yeah, I'm about to look at that stuff. I know. What is that? Soup? Bro, that looks like a burger from like 1976 or something, dog. What is that? Bro, where's your gold fork at, by the way? He said it took me a minute to recognize it isn't something poisonous. Nah, I'm pretty sure it is, dog. True said it's not poisonous. Oh, dude, what is this? Now, female versus male climbs a ladder. Ooh, wee. Yeah, that was spicy. Now let's see the dudes. Seen that before with the flipping, donking his head on every flipping. Yeah, that's funny, dude. Yeah, I hadn't seen it with the with Eve in there before though. That's funny, dude. Yeah, that's nice. Nice sight. I had to ask a coworker to help me find out that that abomination's supposed to be food. Yeah, I couldn't tell at first either, bro. I was like, what is this? Holy crap. Bro, that's not a Big Mac. That's a big whack right there. That's no Big Mac I've ever seen. I don't know what you're talking about. I know it's supposed to be a burger. That's why I said that looks like something from like 1976. Yeah, that looks like they pulled something out of a flipping time capsule, dude. Threw it in a microwave, put it on your plate, dog. There's something not right about that. Yeah. Of course he took it apart. He doesn't eat a burger like a real person. He eats it like a flippin' savage with a golden fork. All right, let's get into this. 7 Days to Die is leaving early access after a decade. Look, man, before I even dive into this, I'll say what I've said before. I don't find early access, I feel like this is something that certain developers take advantage of. The early access thing is a very beneficial thing for a lot of developers. Oh, is it random mode time? Let's go, dude. Random mode time. Early access is something that can be very beneficial for a lot of developers, and it is definitely something I think developers should be taking advantage of, as it provides them a great opportunity to get people into playing their game early before its full release. It can give them a great opportunity to get feedback from the game players, to potentially change and implement things that can better benefit the software for what the fans and consumers are looking for in the experience of that piece of entertainment, you know? But man, there are some that I feel like have taken advantage of what early access is. And dude, I've used 7 Days to Die as an example for quite some time now. You know, I understand that there are, you know, developers are a wide range of, from very small to very big, and not all developers have massive amounts of time to work on things, and I understand that, but there's an acceptable amount of time to have something. I think that when you think early access, you think about a game that is in a very playable state. Is it totally polished? Is it totally finished? No, you don't expect that, but it's very playable and somewhat fairly close to a fully completed game, right? But I think what happens a lot when games hit early access, some developers lose sight of trying to get the game completed, and instead are like, well, it's already released, quote unquote, so what's the rush in getting a full version out, right? And I'm not a big fan of that. I think that there needs to be some kind of time limit. I would like to see Steam put a time limit on early access, like 3 to 4 years, something like that, you know? I think that's the better way to go about it. Have a game, you know, if you want to use early access, awesome. It's a great tool. I think it's a fantastic tool. But I don't think that you should be able to just bait people into an early access premise of a game, thinking that in the near future it's going to be a fully fleshed out game, and then it takes a decade for it to hit full access, you know, a full release. It shouldn't take that long. If it's that close to being finished that you can early access it, it shouldn't take 10 years. You know, it feels a little bit weird. So that's my opinion. I would like to see Steam implement something where it's like, you've got requirements of, you need to show us that you've got a roadmap for finishing this game in a time span of, 3 to 4 years. And if that time span comes and goes and you're not full releasing your game, it's pulled off of early access. I find it weird. I think there needs to be some kind of prompting for developers to get the game finished. For all those people that buy into it early in that process, under the premise of thinking the game is going to be a full release product in the relatively near future, to have something sit for 10 years is pretty rough. So I've had that mindset for a long time, and I've used 7 Days to Die as an example of something that I'm not very fond of a piece of software using early access. I think in an unacceptable way. But let's read about this. In December of 2013, 7 Days to Die was released in early access. It has evolved immeasurably over the years, pulling in millions of players and winding up with some pretty positive reviews across the board. It's a unique zombie survival game that fits somewhat into a series of genres. Over the last decade, it's ebbed and flowed, but it has always headed for this announcement. Recently, the game's developer Fun Pimps confirmed that 7 Days to Die is leaving early access soon, with the first test launch of 1.0 taking place in May. Not the end. In a recent video showcase, Alpha Exodus, the 1.0 launch project for 7 Days to Die, the upcoming changes were discussed at length. One of the most pertinent pieces of news is that the price point for 7 Days to Die will increase when 1.0 is available. It will be put in place to acknowledge the new premium offering. There will still be plenty of updates for 7 Days to Die once 1.0 is available, with Fun Pimps pledging to support the game for years to come. There will also be a new version of the game on consoles, which should please fans locked in on Xbox and PlayStation. We'll watch this real quick. And look, I mean, I think what it comes down to really is, if the game is far enough along that you think it's good for early access, I think that it's acceptable, to think that you shouldn't be that far away from being a few years off from a full release. And you need to push for that. Games that, are that close should be looked at from the developer as pushing towards a full release. You can always continue to take feedback after release to add to the game, to change the game into something that the community is giving you feedback on. But this seems excessive, man. It seems really, really wild. 10 years, man.
With more than a decade of development, 7 Days has accomplished more than our team or critics could have ever imagined. After nearly 12 years, many consider 7 Days to be the crown jewel of survival games on the market today. We've seen our game and audience grow and evolve over the years. It's been shown at trade shows and had countless early access releases. We've had a few speed bumps along the way, but we think the team, community, and game are ready for the next steps. I'm Richard Hunick, co-founder of the Fun Pimps and creator of 7 Days to Die, and I'm going to share the details about 7 Days to Die, leaving early access, and the launch of version 1.0.
It's a long road. You know what I mean?
Up to this point, we've referred to 1.0 as Alpha 22, but internally, our plan has always been for Alpha 22 to be version 1. It's been the source of a lot of excitement for the team and what the future holds for the game. What does that mean for the game? It means everything we promised is still coming. We haven't forgotten about our remaining Kickstarter goals and the features we promised over the years. We are still planning on supporting.
I'll pull it up in a
7 Days to
second,
Die,
Soup.
as we always have. Many of those features will be outlined on our roadmap. Future alpha updates will turn into major content patches. We will still have experimental builds with stable releases going to consoles and other PC markets once they're ready. So when does 1.0 launch? We're currently planning for an experimental release in late May and a stable 1.0 launch in June. We'll have exact release dates as we get closer. With the launch of Stable 1.0, the current retail price of the game will increase to match the cost of the new console edition, which we'll cover later. If you currently own 7 Days to Die on PC or purchase it before 1.0's launch, then nothing will change. You will still get all major free updates coming. The only real change is that anyone who has not purchased the game by the launch of 1.0 will have to purchase it at a new price. Speaking of sales, we're running a last chance week-long deal starting next Monday on Steam. We are sharing this because we wanted to give all players the opportunity to purchase 7 Days on Steam at the lowest discount before the price goes up. This week-long sale will start April 22nd, so if you're still on the fence after 10 years, it's never been a better time. The number one comment we hear on social media is, when is the new 7 Days to Die console version coming out? Folks, you won't have to wait much longer. The game looks great and runs surprisingly smooth. And that means 7 Days to Die PC 1.0 stable will be the launch version for consoles. We are working on the exact dates, but know that it's coming soon after 1.0 launch on PC.
He talks
Consoles will
really
launch
low.
digitally only, and certain features like crossplay and generating additional random gen worlds may come in post-launch patches. So what does that mean for the legacy console version owners? Due to the differences between old and current hardware, the Legacy Edition cannot be upgraded, and the new version will have to be purchased. However, we are working closely with Sony and Microsoft to provide a discount to the digital Legacy console version owners. We'll have more news on this in the coming weeks. Also, when the new console
They don't get a
launches,
free
the Legacy
upgrade?
version will be delisted from the digital storefronts. You'll still be able to play the old game, but can no longer purchase it. This is being done to avoid product and brand confusion. Today we posted a comprehensive FAQ alongside our work in progress roadmap image, with more details coming soon. Next week, we'll hold the last chance sale. After that, our focus will be on getting 1.0 experimental out, followed by the...
Am I tripping? Did I hear that wrong? So on console, the people that own the legacy version of the game that bought the legacy version are not going to just get the full release version. They're going to have to buy it at potentially getting a discount. I think I heard that right.
full 1.0 stable launch on Steam. We'll have more information on 1.0's official release, console's release, and the roadmap's planned release dates this summer, so stay tuned. When we first set out to make 7 Days to Die, we never thought our game would bring this much interest or have this much success. This would not be possible without the continued support of our incredible community who have stood by us for over a decade, and we thank you for that. We will continue to support 7 Days to Die for as long as our community is hungry for more content. But know this, 7 Days is our team's greatest passion, and TFP will continue to make content and add new features and grow this franchise because it's our favorite game too. We look forward to a bright future with many exciting releases. Thank you for watching.
Yeah. Okay. Also, in recognition of this update, 7 Days to Die is preparing to leave the Game Pass subscription service. A lot is coming to 7 Days to Die with the new graduation update, including new challenges, more gore, better vehicle assets, new wardrobe system, roaming bandits, and story mode. I don't know, dude. Some of that stuff, that especially the console stuff, sounded weird. I don't know maybe enough about what the legacy version is and entails and stuff, but yo, Reject, that's right, dude. Hey, man, I was going to tell you, are you playing it like on Game Pass or something, or are you buying it outright? Game Pass? Word. Cool. I was going to say, if you're buying it outright, dude, there's some sites that you can get a discount on, but cool. Game Pass. Awesome, dude. Awesome. Word up, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. This, yeah, even aside from, like, my issues of how long this was in early access, some of the stuff feels a little bit weird there. I don't know. But I guess you get the gist of what's happening. There you go. 7 Days to Die, leaving early access after a decade. Here you go, Soup. Here's your copium, man. Let me look at this this link. What is this, dude? What are you sending to me, dog? What is this, bro? I mean, at least she doesn't look 12. Oh, this is ZZZ, dude. Interesting. Yeah, this is ZZZ. Cool. Nah, she doesn't look 12. I'm sorry. Bro. Yeah. This is Victoria, an S rank that's coming to the Zenless Zone 0 game. You can see it down here. ZZZ. Spicy, dude. Healer? Are we talking a healer here? I don't know. Are these syringes or are these stakes? It might be stakes. DPS? Okay. Oh, I know you'll spend money for it. Yeah, she's spicy, dude. I like that. That's cool, man. Thanks. You post it in the Discord, dude. Post it in the Discord. Yeah, cool. You guys are funny. Here you go. Here's your copium, Soup. These are the last two articles, guys. I saved these because Soup wasn't in here yet this morning. But here we go. Stellar Blade will be uncensored worldwide. The PlayStation exclusive is out next week. Stellar Blade will be uncensored in all regions, it's been announced. A post from the game's Twitter account reads, Stellar Blade offers the same uncensored version in all countries, including the Japanese version. This post comes in the wake of some PlayStation titles having regional variations, which players have routinely called out for perceived censorship. Stellar Blade will be released on April 26th as a PS5 exclusive. A demo for Stellar Blade was released on March 29th, after which the game's official Twitter account advised players to go easy on it, with some players racking up over 50 hours of play on the demo alone. We talked about that. We read that. Yoko Taro, the director of the Nier series, recently said he thinks Stellar Blade is much better than his own game, Nier Automata. Interesting. In a new interview with IGN Japan, Taro and Stellar Blade director Kim Hyung-tae both sat down to discuss their respective games. Taro praised Kim, saying he's been a fan of his work ever since his work on the Magna Carta series of games. Says that even though he's the older of the two, he still considers Kim his senior on a professional level. On Kim's latest title, Taro said, Stellar Blade is such an amazing game. I think it's much better than Nier Automata. Interesting. So they don't really say specifically why this is going to be uncensored in all regions. So the uncensored part is a little bit like, what are we talking here? I think that what you need to know is obviously this game, Stellar Blade, being based off of a lot of it's a very, I guess, sexual kind of game. Not in the sense of it's got necessarily sex involved in it, but it's got a lot of sexuality. You know, it's Eve is a very based off of a Korean model. She wears a lot of skimpy outfits. There's even an outfit in the game that is a supposed to look like a nude bodysuit. That's what it's being referred to as, right? So there's a bodysuit in the game that makes her look nude, right? So I don't know if there's actual nudity in the game or not, but it's definitely based on the premise of, a more risque nature. Yeah, sex sells, does it not? And they're playing more towards that premise, absolutely. So but it's uncensored in all regions, and everybody will get the same experience, it looks like, across the world. Interesting. And GTA 6 Live updates as Rockstar announcement imminent. You mean around those years of age? Is that what you mean? Yeah. Man, you're old. GTA 6 is still at least another 9 months away, but gamers are aching to know every detail they can. There hasn't been a shortage of leaks, rumors, and theories. One report says GTA 6 could be delayed to 2026 as a fallback option, with fall 2025 now being targeted by employees at Rockstar. One report says GTA 6 could be delayed to 2036 as a fallback option, with 2035 now being targeted by employees at Rockstar. Yeah, basically, Pinky. Yeah, dude. That's after reports suggested development falling behind is the reason why the majority of employees have been called back to the office full-time, but it's led to a backlash from some workers. Yeah, since Rockstar posted the trailer for GTA 6 in early December after it was leaked online, social media has been a hotbed for theories about when exactly the game will be released, when further details such as trailers will be announced, what will be in the game itself, and loads more. No surprise really, given that GTA 5 was widely recognized as the best game of the last decade. That's a subjective take there. Came out in 2013, is still popular with gamers today as Rockstar continues to release GTA Online updates. Below is a roundup of some of the most recent leaks, rumors, and discussions. This will continue to be updated, so keep checking back for the latest. 19 minutes ago, real-time global illumination. A Reddit user has said global illumination is included in GTA 6, which is a group of algorithms used in 3D computer graphics designed to make lighting in 3D scenes look more realistic. Rhinocore posted screenshots from the trailer in the GTA 6 subreddit saying, sunlight transitions to shadow between buildings as the light bounces off the building surface next to it. The effect will be most noticeable indoors with sunlight shining through windows. Sunlight will bounce around the room, creating realistic lighting conditions. This will also make nights a lot more realistic, with light sources illuminating objects around them. This includes moonlight, which will be far more realistic. Yeah. Cool. There's more on that, but there's not a lot to dive into there, really. 4 hours ago, Rockstar announcement imminent. Let's take a look at this. With Take-Two's fourth quarter earnings call reportedly being on May 16th, led to widespread, we've already kind of talked about this a little bit, but we'll hit it again, led to widespread speculation that an update for GTA 6 will be announced just before then. Rockstar has a history of doing this. Hours before Take-Two's earnings call on November 8th of 2023, the developer announced the date for the GTA 6 trailer. A day before an earnings call on May 23rd of 2017, RDR2 was announced. Take-Two holds earning calls to show its success to investors and discuss what lies ahead for the company. Mainly just GTA, because they don't really care about anything else, let's be fair. In February's call, the last one to take place, Take-Two said it would report full financial year 24 results and reveal plans for fiscal year 25, games releasing before April of 2025. While it might not be officially confirmed, it's likely to give an idea if GTA 6 will launch in early of 2025 or later next year. Speculation that to drive up interest and potential investment, a GTA 6 second trailer date could be announced, a release date, new screenshots, or any new information just before the earnings call. Yeah. So I think what you could kind of maybe even probably consider, I mean, because that's also right around summer showcase time, right? Summer showcase time, we might even get some more there from them. We'll see, though. We'll see. Scrap Red Dead. They'll scrap everything in light of anything they can do for GTA. We all know that. Yep. There's a lot of info here. They continue to add to this. If you want to take a look at it, go ahead. But I'm not going to dive any deeper into that. There's a lot of speculation here. A lot of it is, there's some correlations here between things they've done in the past and what we can expect to happen. I don't deny that. But it's still speculation. excuse me, you know, of what we could potentially expect to happen. And we'll get it when we're supposed to get it. And once we get some official news on the front of more GTA 6 stuff, we'll dive into it. I'm a lot less speculation than you are, buddy. Oh, no. Okay. That's the news, my dudes. Awesome. Great stuff. Thanks, everybody. Awesome. Ladder xylophone. Let's go. You know, that's hype, dude. That's Monday hype, dude. Ladder xylophone. That's right. Yeah, I hear it. Thanks for the awesome news segment, guys. As always, we're gonna wrap this up now, and then we'll go play. We'll get ready in just a moment to go play some Dragon's Dogma 2, man. It's been good. It's been great, actually. I'm really enjoying the content. We've got a lot more to do, and we took down the Dullahan yesterday, the Headless Horseman, if you will. That was cool. We did a few other things, and we'll keep progressing today, man. We did a few other quests. We got some more stuff to work on today, and it'll be fun, man. We'll keep pushing, and obviously the key part of what we're doing in Dragon's Dogma 2 right now is really just getting to look at the super schmexy pawn that Pinky has, wearing that, you know, frog butt crotch goblin corset. You know, it's really, really good. It's just so nice. So we'll get some more of that going on too. You guys rock. If anybody's hanging out, you're not familiar with what we do, this is our jam every single day we're live, which is 6 days a week, every day but Wednesday. We begin at 6 a.m. CST, CDT, or that would be 7 a.m. Eastern, 4 a.m. Pacific. We start off with video gaming news every single one of those days. Again, every day but Wednesday. We begin at that time. We start off with video gaming news, trying to stay current with what's happening in the industry that we all love so much, and promote a healthier industry for all of us as consumers of these products. Shine a light on some of the scummier corporations not doing well by us as consumers of these things they're bringing to the table for us. So if you can dig that, come be a part of it. After we finish the news, like we're about to do right now, we always go play games. It could be starting a new playthrough. We usually do some long playthroughs. We do a lot of gameplay together. I like playing games with the community. We have a lot of fun. No matter what we're doing, we have fun. We have an amazing community here of awesome people. It's all about cultivating a welcoming community. It's all about being understanding of one another, being inclusive, and you know, just having a good time, embracing one another, creating long-lasting friendships, and enjoying the world of video games, spreading good vibes, being void of negativity and toxicity. And if you can dig that, then come be a part of it, man. We are always open to having more people come be a part of this awesome community and continue to grow such an amazing place for all of us to be a part of all the time. So to everybody that's always a part of what we do on the constant, you guys rock, and I appreciate it very much. To anybody that is considering coming and being a part of it, I cannot prompt you more to come try out what we do here. We've got such a cool place for people to hang out and just find friends and have a good time enjoying video games, man. So come do it. On that note, stay healthy, stay safe, be kind, dude. We'll do another video gaming news segment tomorrow on Tuesday, April 23rd. We're getting ready to jump into playing Dragon's Dogma 2 for the rest of the day. I'm going to run us an outro to sum up this video gaming news segment. So I'm going to run that. I'm not going anywhere. As soon as it's over, we'll start getting prepared to play games. You guys rock. I'll see you in just one moment.
You're from my feet. Love is so sweet.